welcome back to the TJP. A familiar face, but not a familiar face on the previews and the reviews. I'll be your new familiar face and new host of the previews and the reviews, and with a different kind of spin that's different to Paolo, or as we should say, Paul, who is now gone. He's gone. He's left the jumper punch. He's gone on to greener pastures, as they say. SEN have snapped him up, and they've snapped up his image rights. So yeah, it's sad to say goodbye to him, but I'm very happy for him as his cousin. The best thing for him. So I'm going to be reviewing and previewing all the games from now until the end of the season, and probably for the future. So let's get cracked and let's get started on this. Where do you start with this? Where do you start with Carlton v Melbourne, Saturday night, 19th of July, 7:35 finish? I mean, a 7:35 start. It should be finished at 7:35. But this is going to be a putrid game to watch, I think, for Carlton supporters, I think. It'll be a scrappy type of game. I think it could be a bit dewy. There's a bit of rain forecasted in the evening and just before the game. Be a low temperature of about 13 degrees. So be very chilly. So get your coats and get your Kathmandu jackets. There won't be many Melbourne supporters there because they're going to be at Mount Hotham, Falls Creek, you name it, Mount Buller. The Shahoodaroo boards are out. They're in their spas. So I'm predicting around a crowd of about 45,000 people. I'd be surprised if there was any more than 50 there, to be honest. In a game that means absolutely nothing. The battle for 12th place, they're calling it. So, we'll just start with the ins and the outs. Our outs, Mitch McGovern, who's steadily halted on 17 games. And I think he needs one more game to hit that trigger on his contract, so he can get a game, or so he can get another contract for next year, or something along the lines of that. We've got Orazio Fantasia or Orazio. He's gone out. And Alex Cincotta, surprisingly, who's been dropped. Hasn't been dropped. He's been managed with an injury, which I find very fascinating. And our ins are Adam Sard, the Wolf, Francis Evans. I mean, where's he going to be playing? Is he going to be playing at halfback again, as we saw in that Collingwood game? And Will White. So it's good to see him back in the team. He's been missing for a couple of weeks or a few weeks. And then you've got Melbourne's ins and their outs. Jake Lever goes out. Tom Sparrow with concussion. And then Stephen May, who's Charlie Curnow's kryptonite. And Harry Sharp, who's a handy little player. He's included back into the team. My overall synopsis of this game is that, I don't know, there's a few key matchups that we're going to have to work very hard on, and where we can get them as well, I think we can get them. Hopefully Charlie Curnow is firing on this night, because if he isn't firing on this night, it's going to be a grim night, as I said at the start of this preview. You've got Cripps, who can find his form. He found a bit of that form last week against Brisbane in the first half. Thought he faded out in that half, as did our team. I think he can, up against a lower opposition of this year, who Melbourne have been very poor by their standards as well. They play a bit like us. I mean, who will Ed Langdon go to? Will he line up on anybody? Will he tag anybody? Which will be interesting. I think, he might. I think he will go to Cripps. I don't know if he can get him physically wise, but he can get him aerobically. See, the elocution lessons. I need more elocution lessons from Paolo. But it's going to be an interesting watch. This George Hewitt. I mean, he's steadily, he's become our best player this year, which is very frustrating from my point of view. I don't know from your point of view, but he's become the outlet. He's become everything, which is it's perplexing to me. When you got the likes of Chera, you can throw in your Ollie Hollands through there as well, which I think we should see this week. I think, we need to inject something into that midfield, a bit of youthful exuberance, someone that's willing to take the game on, because they've got a few match winners in that midfield. Clayton Oliver's starting to get back into form. You've got Christian Petrarca, who last year just tore us to shreds. After we were up by, I think it was around that 40-point margin in the wet, kicked his 5 goals and could have single-handedly won the game at the end of the game as well. So you've got, as we all know, Keziah Pickett, who's just electric. He can light us up within, a matter of 5 minutes and just put the game to bed against us. Just looking at our team and just going through it, I'm going, where are our match winners? And we said this on the jumper punch, where are our match winners? You go outside of Cripps and Curnow, maybe Zach Williams, Jesse Motlop, who, he's been up and down. He's been to and fro in the midfield, half forward. I've seen him at full back this year and half back, and just scratching your head as to what his position is. Off half back, Saad comes back in, but we haven't got real penetration from him this year, which is been pretty. He's been off. He's been off this year. He's had a below average year by his standards, and I think he would admit that as well. Ollie Hollands. I mean, he's a goer. Is he a match winner? No. Tom De Koning. I mean, where do we start with him, and where does it end with him? He'll be lining up a full forward. He'll be switching with Mark Piternay against Gawn. And I say it's going to be a long and strenuous night for that duo. Maybe Mark Piternay, the big LD Wine can wear him down, Max Gawn, but it's going to be a very, very, very long night for them. Look at the likes of Lockie Fogarty, Flynn Young. I mean, it's his 3rd game. Ashton Moyer as well. I mean, he could be a potential match winner in the future, but only time will tell. But at the moment, no, he's still wet behind the ears, bit green. Love him though. Love him. He's got something to work with. Temperament, he just needs to, get the temperament right. But other than that, I think we've got someone to work with there. Lockie Cowan, Goa, Harry O'Farrell, who I thought was fantastic last week. With that ball coming in and against Brisbane, reigning premiers, arguably maybe equal flag favourites, who I'd say with Collingwood. I thought he held up well. He paid his dues. So, yeah, it's going to be a very interesting night. Jake Malcolm, I mean, he always kills us, doesn't he? I just look at their team, and it's the potential match winners they have. Not as much of, they've just got as many as us, but they're killers. Oliver can pop up on his night. As I said, Petrarca, Keziah Pickett, Bailey Fritsch, who I'd love to have next year. So, it's going to be, I think it's going to be a game where it's nothing over 160 points. I'd be very, very surprised if we kick more than what we've kicked for the last 4 weeks. I mean, I don't think we've cracked over. It was something around the 69-point mark, so 66, 59, 60, and 73 points. It's just so poor. It's so poor. And Melbourne snapped their losing streak last week, albeit North Melbourne, but they put up a good fight. I mean, they absolutely rattled us, 50 points up at halftime, and we had no answers. I mean, you've got a fake comeback in the end, and means absolutely nothing, and they put us away. So there is a danger of that in this game, where their players can get a real hold of us and put us away within the space of a quarter. As you know, we drop our heads, and at the end of the day, what does this game mean? I mean, you can always get something out of a game that means nothing. I look at individuals now. I'm looking at the young kids now. It's their time to shine. We've got a fair few of them in. You got your Will Whites, who's Matt Carroll, Flynn Young, Ashton Moyer, Harry O'Farrell. Lockie Cowan now, that's starting to cement his spot. They're the ones that I look to now, and I looked for Charlie Curnow to find his feet in this game as well. I looked for him to, I don't know, have something over May, because May's got something over him. So I'm looking for him to get rid of the Krispy Kreme donuts, get rid of the Charlie Curnow edition donuts from Krispy Kreme. Put one on him. I just want to see him do well. I hate seeing when Charlie is like this, when he's down in the dumps, throwing, not hissy fits, but it's just like, I don't know, he's just kind of moping, doesn't look engaged. Are you engaged enough? Even Tom DeConning to that extent as well. I think that he's been quite poor. I think this year he's been found out as a ruckman as well. I think a lot of teams have gone to work on him, taking his aerial presence out of that centre bounce jump. As you saw last year, the game where my mind goes to is the one against Essendon, albeit Essendon, but I thought he was fantastic that night. Probably his best game of his career. So yeah, I look for him to do something, finish the year strong with Carlton. We've drafted him. Will he be here? Will he won't be here? Will he not be here at the end of the year? Who knows? I think we all know the writing's on the wall. But yeah, I mean, I look for Jesse Motlop in this game as well. And he needs to find some confidence. He needs to get the fans on side as well. He needs to get them on side early. I think there's a player in there. I know a lot of people probably call me deluded here, but I just think there's a player in there. I just don't think he's part of that midfield rotation that Voss loves to do. So this is more on the players this game. We know I think the papers are stamped for Michael Voss and his coaching group, which are, I think, pretty tactically inept. So it's going to be very interesting to what they throw up on the night as well. So because I look at players like Carlton, Folstrup, like who are these players? But we'll be putting them on the map. Matthew Jefferson, players like that. Are we going to put Jack Viney back into form? So, Trent Rivers put him back on the map. They're good players, but, I think we've got enough there to win, but I don't think we are going to win this game. I think it is going to be a 60 to 70 type game and like the St Kilda game, scrappy, trying to find our feet. It's just going to be close until the end, and I think it would be within a kick or two, to be honest. I don't see it being a major blowout either way. I'd be very surprised. Both teams have lacked, being able to put teams away. And yeah, I mean, what is your make of this game? I'd love to see your overall synopsis of this game. I mean, we all know there's nothing to play for. We're just playing for pride now. Not that there's nothing to play for. We're playing for pride. We're playing for that monogram now. The monogram at the back. Yeah, that's what I want to see. I mean, I just don't want to go to the game and just be laughing the whole game, like just apathy towards a playing group that don't really care and a coaching staff that doesn't really care anymore. I mean, they say they do, but do you really care? Do you want to play for your mates? Do you want to play for your brothers? I've been hot on this at the moment is where, I don't know, I just don't see that camaraderie, a brotherhood, a unity. They don't have a real passion, a real want to fight for each other at this present time. They say they will, they say they do, but proof's in the pudding. You can see it out there on game days. So yeah, the last 4 weeks have been pretty disappointing and pretty abysmal, to be honest. So yeah, look, the game can go either way, as I said. 1 or 2 goals. Wouldn't be surprised if we won. Wouldn't be surprised, I'd be surprised if we got blown out in this game, to be honest. I'd actually be surprised if we lost by more than 6 goals against Melbourne. So yeah, look, you know me, I'm realistic. And, a lot of people last week, I tried to rage bait a few people with Brisbane. We're going to win. We're going to beat them, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, we're not going to beat Brisbane. Nearly flag favourites. So, yeah, this week I can see us beating Melbourne. Do I think we're going to beat them? I'd say no. But, yeah. That's been my preview. It's going to be tough. I've been left a strenuous task for the end of the year to review all these games and preview all of them. I can catch all of these after the games. Before the game, I usually do them after the teams come out, and then I'll do them the day after we play. And yeah, I mean, you can catch all of our new shows that we got now. We've got Match Day as well. Match Day Live with Bo. Bo will be on from, I think, about 7:15 before the game. So 20 to 25 minutes before the game. And then we've got the emergency meeting, which is after the game as well. So if you really want to have your say and you I don't know. I don't know what there is to say anymore, seriously. But yeah, if you want to have your say, get on the emergency meeting after the game. It's like a fan cam type forum. There's like 5 to 6 of us in there, and it's I don't know, it's just a general discussion. It's kind of like a mini jumper punch, to be honest. But yeah, we're all in the chat room. You have the Blue Sunday, and then TJP on Tuesdays, and make sure we've got our second guest locked away. I would call him an underrated favourite son of Carlton, and I'm pretty excited for this. So, as you know, we've got Brad Pearce, 1995 Premiership winner, and the highest viewed TJP interview that we've had with a past player. And then I'll leave it to Tuesday night to see who you can see at the live show at the end of the year. So yeah, make sure all the links are down below. Everything, hit the like, the subscribe, the bell notification, comment, and go Blues.